It was a chilly autumn evening in New York City. The streets were alive with the hum of activity, yellow cabs honking, street vendors calling out, and the soft murmur of conversations blending with the crisp breeze. Among the bustling crowd, unnoticed by most, sat a young girl on the sidewalk, bundled in a thin, ragged coat that did little to shield her from the cold. Her name was Lily, and she couldn't have been older than 10. With large, soulful eyes and a small, hopeful smile, she clutched a cardboard sign that read, "Hungry and alone. Please help." Beside her lay a small tin cup containing only a few coins, the product of an entire day's worth of quiet begging. As the evening grew darker, the crowds thinned, and Lily began to shiver. But she didn't complain. She had learned to endure hardship with a resilience that belied her age. Across the street, a black SUV pulled up to the curb. Out stepped a man wearing a wide-brimmed hat and tinted glasses. It was Johnny Depp, the iconic Hollywood actor, trying to enjoy an evening out without drawing attention. He had just finished dinner at a nearby restaurant and was on his way back to his hotel when something made him pause. Through the dim light, his eyes caught sight of Lily. At first, she was just another figure among the many he had seen during his travels. But then he noticed something unusual. Her posture was proud despite her situation, and her eyes held a spark of determination that seemed out of place for someone in her position. Intrigued, Johnny decided to approach her. "Hi there," he said softly, kneeling down to her level. His voice was warm, and his presence was unassuming. Lily looked up, startled but not frightened. "Hello," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "What's your name?" Johnny asked. "Lily," she said, her cheeks flushing slightly from the attention. "Lily, what are you doing out here all alone?" She hesitated, unsure if she could trust him, but there was something kind in his eyes that made her feel safe. "My parents," she began, then faltered. "They're not around anymore." Johnny's heart sank. He could tell there was a deeper story behind those words, but he didn't want to push her. "I'm sorry to hear that," he said gently. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a crisp $100 bill, placing it in her cup. But as he did, he noticed something odd. On the edge of her coat, there was a small, intricately embroidered patch, a crest that looked vaguely familiar. "Lily, where did you get this coat?" he asked, pointing to the patch. "It was my dad," she replied. "He said it was from his old job, but he never talked much about it." Johnny studied the patch closely. It was the logo of a prestigious acting academy in Los Angeles, one that he himself had once supported through charity work. "Do you know what this is?" he asked, pointing to the emblem. Lily shook her head. "Number, it's just always been there." Johnny's curiosity deepened. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Lily's story than met the eye. "Lily," he said, "how about we get you something warm to eat? Then we can talk more." Her eyes lit up with gratitude. "Really? You'd do that for me?" "Of course," he said with a smile. He led her to a nearby diner where they sat in a quiet booth. As Lily ate her first hot meal in days, she began to open up. She told him about her parents, who had both passed away in a tragic accident, leaving her to fend for herself. She had no other family, no home, and no one to turn to. Johnny listened intently, his heart breaking with each word. But he also noticed her resilience and intelligence. Despite everything, she had managed to survive on her own. After dinner, Johnny made a decision. He contacted a friend who ran a children's shelter and arranged for Lily to have a safe place to stay that night. But he didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, he delved into her background, uncovering details about her father's connection to the acting academy. It turned out that Lily's father had been a promising actor who had once studied at the academy, but had to abandon his dreams to provide for his family. The patch on the coat was a relic of his aspirations, a reminder of the life he had hoped to give his daughter. Inspired by her father's legacy, Johnny decided to take Lily under his wing. He enrolled her in school, supported her financially, and introduced her to the world of acting. Over time, Lily's natural talent began to shine, and she found herself pursuing the dream her father had left behind. Years later, Lily would go on to become a successful actress, using her platform to advocate for homeless children and families. She never forgot the man who had changed her life with one simple act of kindness. As for Johnny, he remained a silent supporter, watching proudly as Lily transformed her life and inspired others to do the same. This chance encounter on a cold autumn night became a story of hope, resilience, and the extraordinary impact of compassion.